it's always exciting hunting the hill country of Texas where we hunt, because we usually go out in the field, we know we're gonna see something. It may be some does, it may be some young bucks, but I can tell you this, when a 200+ pound buck comes out on you though, there's no mistaking it. There's no debate. We know the deer's a shooter, and it's time to put tension on the string.
Condition, lights out, stomping all competition. My utmost to his highest, it gets no flyer. We set the mainframe on fire. Cold red for the lead from the pedal. I push to the metal, the dust never settles. F5 level, kick up the bass and the treble. Cause faith, that's a rebel. I can show you the devil. I blaze a trail like the rays from tail light sound, shaking the ground like earthquakes and hail might. Someday I'll die, but not tonight. Excuse me while I light up the sky.
You know, Texas is huge and vast. It's 261,000 square miles. Look, that's a lot of land, that's a lot of territory. There's a lot of deer in Texas, and they're all a little bit different depending on which region of Texas you're in. East Texas, where we're from, you know, the body sizes tend to be a little bit bigger, and there's some good quality deer in East Texas. And you know, it's the piney woods. It looks more like Mississippi or Alabama. Then you go South Texas to the Mexico border, and those are pretty big body deer with some huge, incredible racks. You know, they have the Golden Triangle down there that some of you have heard of, and you know, people would love to hunt. You know, also you have the Panhandle region in North Texas. You know, there's some big body deer there. It's kind of been a sleeper for hunting, and especially bow hunting the last number of years. Here, you're right there in Oklahoma, Kansas, and they're really taking some great deer in that area too, in that region. Where we hunt, it's the hill country of Texas. You know, the terrain where we hunt can change from the oaks, you know, the live oaks, to semi-desert terrain, beautiful rolling hills. You know, where we're at, you can shoot a deer and walk up on it, and it can be about 125 pounds, 140 pounds, or we can take a deer that's 210, 220 pounds, that's an old buck that's got that big body and a monster rack. Depending on where you are in Texas, there's gonna be different type of deer every region that you hunt. You know, every year pre-season and going into season, you know, you have a plan. We do all the prep work and all the preparations to get our ground blinds set up, get the tripods, you know, get the ground zeros set up, and, you know, make sure that we have the right stands for the wind direction and the weather for that matter. Really what we're doing, we're trying to stick with a plan, but we're also ready and capable, like every hunter has to be, to adapt. You know, a lot of times we're in those situations where there's bucks going to a certain feed station that we may have, and they're in an area because there's some does there and there's some other bucks that they're competing with for those does, and that may put a wrench in our plans. You know, we were, you know, trying to stick with just a few different stand setups for a trip. Well, we have to be able to adapt and change to be able to hopefully have some other setups in that other area to where we can go hunt these deer.
Man, it's turning out to be an incredible evening. I mean, we haven't been in the stand long, and I got one right in front of me. Man, I can't make him 5. I swear he looks like he's 4. I've got another 10-point out in front of me that's coming in, and he looks like he's 4. Man, both of them are gorgeous deer. Probably be shooters just about anywhere else, but man, we strictly manage this place, and we can only shoot mature deer. They gotta be 5 or older. So in the process of trying to make decisions, obviously I can't shoot any of these deer. Next thing you know, I hear Scott say, "Chad, get ready, there's a shooter coming." Yeah. Go down, baby. Go down. Go down. Crashed. That's okay. Crashed. It crashed. Yeah. Smoke City right there. I'm so close to you. Look at the camera. Oh, man. I've never seen that deer before. That was a hoss. Man, that gets me shook up. Nothing like it. Oh, man. There's my arrow right here. I didn't know I got a pass through. That's awesome. On that shot, wasn't not sure if I'd get one. Oh man, yeah. Tore him up. Look at that. All right, well, I know where he went, so I'm just gonna start heading that way. Oh, here he is right over here. Oh man, that's a good deer. Wow, what a big body. Holy cow. Oh, that's a toad. Wow. What a beautiful deer. This thing is a hoss. Huge body, very deceiving. His rack is way bigger than I thought just because his body's so big. Never seen an animal this big in these part of the woods. Very excited, never seen this deer before. Golly, that's a toad. Good deer. That's, well, I shoot a Matthews right there.
And these waterfalls I've seen a million times. They wash away the world that I see and cover up my mind.
You know, everybody's got different things they like as far as characteristics of a buck or the way the rack is and everything. And one of the things that I really like is, you know, having that mule deer split on a rack. Actually, where we hunt on the ranch, we've seen a lot of that through the years, especially when a deer gets to age, they throw off some kickers, and a lot of times they're throwing off a mule deer split on one or both sides. You know, a buck that I had an encounter with early season fit the bill on this. Didn't get him on video because it was brief. Fast forward a little bit to the late season. Everything out there is dead. We're in the right spot. I know this buck's in the area. He may show up. If he's hungry enough, he'll come in and feed. That's a mule deer split buck. I smoked that joker. Quartering away perfect. Bloom knock lit up perfect. That's a great bug. Man, we're offset of a corn feeder and we've been chumming it up real good, man. I mean, you saw him munching away. It worked perfect, man, perfect. He's right there, man. I see a big rack up above the grass. Look at the frame on this buck. Golly, man. Woo, yes. That is a stud right there. Look at that. This buck didn't go 125 yards. Whoo, what a deer. Look at the frame on this buck. Good beam length over here. It's a 10 point. It's got a great mule deer split on that side. I had seen that on photos before. Had a bunch of doe activity in front of us and he just couldn't stand it. He had to come over there and investigate a couple of does. And that was his last mistake.
Well, on this next hunt, the wind is probably the biggest factor that we're dealing with. Man, we tried everything trying to get the wind right, and we look at all the weather reports and everything we had, 5 years ago, and go to the stand thinking that this is the right spot to be. Before we get in the stand, we'd take out our little wind checker, puffer, or whatever. Man, the wind would be all wrong. And on this hunt, man, we were so lucky. We were so excited. We got there. The wind was perfect. Everything looks like it's going to work out.
Yeah, baby. That's why I shoot a Matthews. Golly, man, I've never shot so good. I knew, man, my confidence level is so high.
We did the right thing with the wind.
Leaving early, we get in the stand. We go to our stand early in case that wind is not doing what the weather report says. And it paid off in a big way. 9 ways. We set this ground blind up in these oak trees. These trees every year, they drop tons of acorns, and they're all in here feeding on these acorns. And that was our plan, and it paid off, man. We got in here, set this thing up months ago, got it all brushed in. We touched it up a couple weeks ago, and we've actually hunted it a few times, and the wind has shifted. It hasn't been right, even though the weather said it was. But you see it paid off today, and I see a deer down right there. Dude, he didn't go 20 yards, 20, 30 yards max. That's not even 10, 20 yards from where I shot him. Oh yeah, I don't think we're gonna need a tracking job on this dude. Man, Whew, I'm excited. Oh man, look at that. Oh, what a deer. Look at this. Man, what a brute. Did you see the body on this deer? This is a mature deer. There's nothing like taking a mature deer. So incredible. Look at the mass. Gorgeous animal. That is an incredible deer. Man, what a gorgeous deer.
You want to figure it all out. You want to know exactly what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to go. With technology these days, from the cell cameras, trying to figure out where the deer is that you're trying to hunt and get on them, and man, so much goes into trying to plan everything, and you want everything to be executed exactly the way that you want. But in reality, that's just never happens. The way that these hunts went down, to be out there hunting the Texas Hill Country and shoot like a huge bodied deer, looks like it's from up north, over 200 pounds in the Texas Hill Country, it's unheard of. And then Scott to get the deer that he's been after all season and it's almost over and shoots it at first light. And then I shoot another big bodied Texas Hill Country buck and he fell 10 yards from where I shot him right in front of me. God, man, those are the encounters that get you pumped up, man, excited, and I can't wait to get back out there again.
Man, these Matthews shoot so stinking sweet, man. But, you know, I was thinking a couple of years ago, I was on my way to Indiana on a Midwest hunt. We have a couple farms that we lease up there, and about 2 weeks away from going to Indiana, my bow just started shooting crazy. I mean, crazy. I couldn't get 2 arrows to hit in the exact same place. I'm losing my mind. So I go to my pro shop. I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at my rest. I'm looking at my peep. I'm looking at my sights. I'm looking at my knocking point. I mean, I'm looking at everything. And when we got to the pro shop, what we actually found out was that under the serving, my string had actually broken, and it was just being held by the serving. And because of that, it just wasn't shooting accurate. We put a brand new string on my bow, and man, that thing got tight and right all at once. Once we finally determined the real problem, we were able to fix everything. It got right back in line. And here's the point that I wanted to make today. You know, I see people in life as a pastor that try to fix everything in their life that they feel like is wrong with everything else other than the most important thing. We feel unfulfilled. We feel sometimes like we're not living a meaningful life, and because we have this hole in our heart, we try to fix it with a better relationship or a better job or more money or a nicer house. And all we're trying to do is fill a gap that will never be filled by any of those things. Here's what we're really missing. Here's the most important thing. Here's that thing that'll fill our heart. A personal relationship with God through His Son, Jesus Christ. It's not the cure-all to all of your problems, but what I am saying is this: that thing in our lives that we are really missing the most is a personal relationship with God. And when we find that, it's amazing how it fills that thing in our heart and everything else gets better all at once. I pray that you'll think about that, consider that. Our greatest prayer for you here at Elusive Wildlife is that you would know God that way. If you'd like to know Him and a more intimate relationship with God through His Son, Jesus Christ, just go to elusivewildlife.com and click on the Moment of Truth tab.
Those words you throw